I believe there's 5 key things Alabama has to do if they want to win this football game, and we're going to write them down and go over them. Number 1. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Hope you're having a great start to your Saturday morning. I mean, if you're not in a good mood for college football Saturday, I don't know what to do. I can't help you. Got done my morning run, went and got me a coffee, ate a little breakfast. And I've been thinking about something, and we're going to get into it in this video. And I have never done a video like this before on the channel. Well, let me, I guess, reiterate on that. Of course, we've done videos like this, talk to the camera. I'm more so talking about before the games, because normally we do the reactions and stuff, and those are cool and all. But this is the first time I've actually done a video before all the games on Saturday. So I guess you'd say we're making history. And the main reason for that is because I want to talk about this Alabama and Georgia game a little bit before it gets started, and hopefully I can have this uploaded before the 11 a.m. game so y'all can watch it. I'm going to do my best. If not, do apologize, but it'll get uploaded for sure before 12. And let me write this down before I say anything else. Should be able to see that pretty good. 2007. Now I know what you're sitting here saying. Matt, what does that number represent? Great question, my friend. I'd love to answer it. The last time Alabama was an underdog at home was the year 2007. How long was that? 17 years? It's been 17 years since Alabama was a home underdog. 17 years. And today, I've waited to speak on this, but it's looking like Alabama's going to be an underdog. It was getting kind of close there for a second, because the line was fluctuating between 2, 2.5. And the past 24 hours, it's been Georgia minus 0.5 and minus 1. It's going to wind up finishing at that, because nothing's going to change it. So, it's official. Alabama is a home underdog, which is really interesting. I thought that number was really fascinating because I can't believe it's been that long. Because thinking back on it, I thought in 2019 Alabama was an underdog against Joe Burrow and LSU, but come to think about it, they weren't. That's crazy. 17 years. I can't get over that. So, and I'm not going to sit up here and go, oh, what are you going to do about that Alabama? They don't believe in you. I'm not going to do all that. It's one freaking point, and it's not that people don't believe in Alabama. It's more so of Georgia's an outstanding football team, and I mean, they got one of the greatest head coaches in the game. They got an outstanding team, so it's more about Georgia. And two, let me ask you guys a question. I'm curious. Let me know in the comment section. I wonder if Nick Saban was still the head coach if Alabama be favored. I don't know. Probably. Well, I don't know, does a head coach mean that much in some people's eyes? Like I said, I'm asking you guys. I really don't know, and the interesting part about that is we'll never know. You can only talk about it and debate about it. With all that great stuff being said, I want to give you my key things Alabama has to do in this game if they want to come out with a victory. And it's small things like this that are going to make all the difference in the world. I believe there's 5 key things Alabama has to do if they want to win this football game, and we're going to write them down and go over them. Number 1. Well, let me get to where y'all can see this really good. Okay, that should be pretty good. Number 1, we'll put it up here. Focus. Now, I know what some of you are sitting here saying, Matt, come on, man, focus, what do you mean? Attention to detail, focus, whatever you want to call it. This isn't USF, no disrespect. This isn't even Wisconsin. This isn't, I'd say, a team like Kentucky, not to throw them under the bus, but this is a perennial powerhouse in Georgia. Every play matters. You can't take plays off. All 11 guys have to execute. They have to do their job. And that's where focus comes into play. Number 2, this may arguably be the most important one out of them all. Win the turnover. I cannot write this morning. Sorry, guys. My apologies. Battle. I don't think I have to elaborate too much on that. Let me get this a little closer. Yeah, that's better. I shouldn't have to elaborate on that too much. You win a turnover battle in a game like this, more likely, you're going to win the game. Number 3 is one I talked about a ton in the preview, but it is so important. I'm going to talk about it a little bit again here. We're writing it on the whiteboard at least. Establish the run. I think Jalen Milroe is an outstanding deep ball passer. I think he's one of the most underrated players in the nation. Although he gets a lot of love, I think it's a little bit too much hate. But we do not want him throwing the ball 40 times this ball game. We want him going out there, coming off some play action. We want the running backs helping him out, because the key part about having a good running game isn't just having a good running game. It opens up the passing game. It's a win-win. Can't emphasize it enough. We got to establish a run. I'm not saying we got to go out here and rush for 250 or even 200 or even 180. If we can just get 140, 150 yards similar to last year in the SEC Championship, that'll keep them honest, and that's what you want. Number 4. Most teams fail to do this against your Alabamas and Georgias of the world. Be the, I'm putting this in all caps, hunter. Don't be the hunted, be the hunter. You gotta reverse it, okay? You cannot let Georgia play on their toes all night and just attack. That's one thing Kirby Smart was known for when he was at Alabama, when he was a defensive coordinator. He was the hunter. He didn't let the offense dictate whatever play call he was gonna call on defense. No, he's calling his own play calls. He doesn't care what you do on offense, he's gonna blitz. That was his mentality. If he saw you come out 5 wide, it didn't change the play call. It's like, okay, whatever. We're still attacking you. We're sending 6, sending 7 on 3rd down. Or 3rd and long. That's what he always did at Bama. We got to do that. Because I tell you this much, Kirby Smart, you're not going to hunt him. You're not. He's a hunter, and we got to hunt them back. Now, with Nick Saban, we were hunters. With DeBoer, I'm not saying we're not, but we haven't seen him a lot, so we need to see him prove that. And number 5, this one, none of you, I guarantee you know what I'm about to write next. You couldn't guess it in a million years. You couldn't. We'll just get into it right now. Let's make sure y'all could see that. It's at the bottom. Fun. Let's underline that. And we'll draw a big fat arrow to it. Meow. Meow. I know what you're sitting here saying, Matt, buddy, what are you talking about, man? Have fun. Is this middle school football? Is this JV football? Is this PE class with White Randy back in the glory days? No, my friend. But one thing you got to do, no matter how old you get, is you got to have fun in these games. I know a lot of you, or a lot of athletes, you don't make it to the next level. You don't make it to, what is it, 0.0001% people make it to the NFL, NBA, etc. But for the people that just played in high school, and even if you played in college, at some point in your high school or collegiate career, you kind of felt like it was a job. Like, here you're just going through the motions, like, here we go again, 5 a.m. practice, early mornings, late nights, etc., etc. And then the games, it's like a business approach, especially when you go on a road trip. And I think sometimes as athletes, we forget to have fun. And that is one of the most important parts. Because think about when you played basketball, baseball, or football growing up when you was 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. Those were some of the best days of my life. Because you're not, of course you're trying to win the game, but you're just trying to go out there and have fun. And I know as a man, when you get older in society, a main part of being a man is you don't really have as much fun because you got responsibilities. But for these guys and even NFL guys, you just play better when you have fun. Remember why you're out there. This is a game you grew up, loved playing as a kid. I would just like to see our guys go out there and have a good time. And more times than not, when you do that, it's not a slacking or losing mentality. It's just letting your nuts hang. Okay, yeah, that's all. I mean, that's the best way I can describe it. You're playing loosely. You're playing freely. When do you play your worst? I had buddies like this in high school. Fortunately, I wasn't this way, especially in basketball. There were a couple guys, and I've shared this story before, on our basketball team that they were the second coming of Larry Bird and Michael Jordan in practice. But in the games, they just turned into Mr. Freeze. They were so timid, so scared of the bright lights. But in practice, like I said, they played loosely and freely. Why? Because they were having fun. In the games, you just kind of forget. Oh, you focus on all these other things. Just go out there, have fun. I can't harp on that enough. I think that's a very key point, and it doesn't get talked about enough. It doesn't. And this is not a knock on Nick Saban, but it was like a dictatorship early on. The later years with Alabama were some of my favorite years because you actually saw Nick Saban smiling a little bit more and cutting up with the guys. And off the field, he was always like that. But when he first got to Bama in 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, those early years, oh no. Alabama was a dictatorship, man. It was a business. There was no cutting up laughing. I mean, they had a job to do, get to the top and stay there, and that's what they did. And at the end of the journey, you kind of smiled. But I would like to see us in the early parts of the DeBoer era to start smiling and having fun now. Because I actually believe Georgia's got way more pressure to win this game. We all know this. Alabama, what have we now? Beat Georgia the past 7 out of 8 games, something like that. We got their number. There's no pressure on Bama. Bama's got the new head coach. Georgia's supposed to win this game, similar to the SEC Championship, and they may play tight. So we need to use that to our advantage, and we go out there and say, oh yeah, it's just a football game. Because on the grand scheme of things, although I think sports are a lifestyle and they teach you a lot of good life lessons, it is just a football game. Now, it doesn't mean I don't care about it and it doesn't matter, because it does matter, but it's a game you played growing up. Just go have fun. All these points, though, I've been thinking about them the past couple of days, especially after the preview. I think they're important. If we could, obviously, you're not going to, in a perfect world, you could execute on all 5 of these. But if we could just execute on 3 of these, let's say, win the turnover, and pick any 3, turnover battle, hunt more than Georgia hunts you, and establish a run, that's going to be good enough. You can go over 50% because there's 5, so it'd be 60%. I think Bama comes out with a win. If you only execute on 2 of these, and focus goes hand in hand with penalties, guys, and just mental mistakes. If we only get 2 of these, let's say we only focus and we win the turnover battle, but we don't do the other 3, probably not going to win. So that's all there is to it. I did want to make this short video. Getting ready for the games. I'm curious. Let me know your thoughts down below about that.